Welcome once again to the Movies and Stuff show. My name is Dan, and joining me this week, Marty and Nick.
Hey.
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday, yeah. We did
It's Thursday.
this week. There was a very economic reason why we didn't do Tuesday this week.
Yes, it was about $10.
It was $10. We're of course talking about 3 Billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri, which as of Monday you can only buy for $14.99, and then as of Tuesday you could rent for like $5.99.
Yeah, that's a weird little rule they've created there.
Yeah, I can understand it though.
Because right now you can only you would hope to have been able to see everything before the Oscars this weekend, but now Shape of Water's out. Yeah, so you have to buy that to watch it. I think
they want you to buy it.
But I mean, still, money's money.
Money's money,
yeah.
but
15 and 5 are very different.
Yeah, playing devil's advocate. Marty, you went to go to the movie theater to see 3 Billboards.
Yep.
How much was your ticket? Just you?
Yeah, I don't think it was the 14. It was probably closer to 9.
9? Okay, 9.
Yeah.
Did you buy popcorn, soda?
I would imagine I did.
Yeah.
Partake in some kind of.
That's putting you at the 15 or 16 right there, and plus you didn't go by yourself.
I probably did see that one alone.
You probably saw that one alone. Okay. Shape of Water. I know you went on a date for that one.
Yeah, that was a full-priced event.
Probably like $30 right there at least. You know. So I mean,
30? That's
at least.
At least, yeah.
So in the scheme of things, renting or buying the movie for $15.
Have you bought any movies through like a Verizon or Google? I don't think I ever.
Verizon, no. I have a ton on iTunes though.
Yeah.
I have a whole library on iTunes. All my kids' movies.
Yeah. The only movie I buy now is when the new Star Wars comes out. I think that's the only set I even have anymore.
Digital things are weird too, because you can't really because now you gotta kind of watch them on the program that you buy them.
Yeah.
So when that system hits the fan, all your shit is gone.
Yeah, Disney gives you an account or something. You have to watch it through that. I'm assuming that's for all the Disney platform, which is almost every movie now.
You can still buy Disney films though through iTunes.
Yeah.
So I mean that's why again I've been with Apple for a while now, like Apple products. Like I have an iMac that's like 11 years old. So at least 11 years I've been so iTunes makes sense to me because I have an iPhone, we have an iPad, we have Macs, I have Apple TV. So there's so many different devices and stuff we can watch these movies on. So to me, it just made sense to just buy it on iTunes. But yeah, Verizon makes listen. I'm always a hair away from quitting Verizon.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. So you buy that.
Better out there.
I don't know. I left and I've never been happier.
Yeah, but you're still on Saddle or no? He meant for TV.
No, I meant for TV.
Oh, for TV? Yeah, I'm on Dish.
Dish, yeah.
Yeah, but even then, if you bought the dish on demand, whatever,
yeah,
and one day you got to change your account or something, or you move, then you lose that.
Right.
No, I would never buy it there. So many other places. You know what sucks though about digital releases though? It's like you pay $15 for the movie, but it's actually cheaper to just stop in like a Target and buy opening weekend, and get a physical.
Yeah, but they come out later, right? There's a few weeks.
Depends on the movie.
I tell you, the kids' movies, they come out at least a month earlier on the download, the digital. So for me and my kids, I mean, we have DVDs in the house. There's just so much crap, right? I have so much just stuff.
Just trying to future proof it.
And now I'm being told my volume is way lower again. Test. Yeah, I wonder what's going on.
We hear you fine.
Yeah.
No, I'm being told that it's not good. Hello. Yeah, it looks really low. Test, 1, 2. Yeah, I don't know. You guys talk. Let me see my levels.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, you guys are good.
Yeah.
My levels are kind of low. Anyway, well, we'll figure this out. Well, it's always something new.
Marty sporting a telemarketer look. I like that.
I've always had this thing.
I didn't notice it before. It's like,
all right, let's try that. Maybe that's better. My wife texted me, Aaron, if my sound is better, let me know.
we're gonna do it live.
All right. Okay. It's usually Robert Melee telling me that my sound is low.
Yeah, I mean, if he's not, he might have just went out. So.
Ariana's saying it's good to her too. So
there you go.
All right, it's better. Hopefully it's better. I don't know. I have some settings on the back of this microphone. I just twirl some fucking knobs. Just ask you guys. You guys actually work in media. I mean,
oh please.
Tell me the setting. All right, look at my microphone. Tell me which setting on this I need to.
You want to go to 11, I think.
11, right? Yeah, it's 11. Okay. This week, our mission is twofold. I guess we're going to talk 3 billboards, right? And what the heck did I do? See, this is awful. This is terrible. I'm having technical difficulties already. Oh, awful. Okay, there we go. Yeah, we're gonna check 3 billboards, and now the poster's behind our logo as opposed to in front of it. The wonders of setting up the show really quickly beforehand. So yeah, we're going to talk 3 billboards, and then we'll do some Oscar picks, right? Oscars this Sunday?
This Sunday, yeah, very late this year it seems. I don't know why.
February seemed like had a lot going on.
It's usually the last week in February, so it's a week later than usual. But it seems even like so many other movies have come out already this year that to be talking about these movies again, it seems like it. Like I saw 3 billboards originally in November.
It seems like a while.
Yeah.
Well, you got a couple early in the year movies that are nominated, so it makes it seem even longer.
Yeah, like Get Out.
Get Out. Yeah.
Like Get Out was February. It was a year ago. So, which is funny too, because the creepy brother from Get Out was in 3 billboards.
True.
Yes,
he played Welby, Red Welby.
Good, both characters.
Then there was someone from Lady Bird. I think a couple of people from Lady Bird were in this as well. So yeah, some crossover.
I think they kind of go off the old model of there's, historically there was no movies that came out in February that are worth anything. So like, we can hold off on the Oscars and give people time to watch the old, the ones that were nominated. But now we got so many movies that come out all year round. That it kind of seems outdated at this point.
I guess so. Yeah, it's weird.
I mean, it would have been weird to have the Oscars play the weekend that Black Panther comes out.
Not that weekend, but like Golden Globes and the SAG Awards were like 2 months ago at this point. It feels like. So it's typically an award season, but it seems like it's stretched out much farther than usual.
Yeah, I can see that.
I actually recall it being much earlier, even like wasn't like January at one point.
Yeah,
it's within the last like 20 years that it's shifted.
Yeah, they wanted
February.
they wanted to be farther away from the Globes because they don't respect the Globes. Half the time the same people win, so it's not even that big a deal. But
it was a 26th last year.
This one feels like it's like, all right, we're still talking. It seems really dated for this year. So, but still gives people.
It's not even a full week later though.
Gives us more time to watch some of the movies though.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah. Like I would, they would have done the Oscars last weekend or something. I wouldn't have seen this beforehand.
No.
And I liked it. I liked it a lot. It was a very good movie. It's a very, very good movie. Nick, you disagree?
No. Me and Marty had an extensive conversation about this movie.
Okay, well, tell me about your conversation.
I was with it about 3/4 of the way. Then that last, like, after the Molotovs, this movie went somewhere else, and I was like, why? Why did they go that way? And I was getting really, like, the ending really pissed me off, because it was just like, we went through this whole journey, and we ended up nowhere. It just felt like, it ended up nowhere. I don't know.
We ended up nowhere. I think all of the characters progressed. Like even Frances McDormand's character progressed from beginning to end, and I think she realized a lot of. Listen, what I liked about this movie is there's no 100% redeemable characters. Even Frances McDormand's character, even you feel bad for her. She's not a great person though.
Oh,
and
there's only one redeemable character.
Who do you think is the redeemable?
Harrelson's character.
To a degree.
When you get a little bit more on him, like after the letters come out, like he's much more likable. Because at the beginning, you're like, I don't really give a shit about this dude. And then you see his family and all this other stuff.
Even so, he keeps Sam Rockwell around, and Sam Rockwell's a racist.
Yeah, you know, but we find that out at the end. Why?
Sure, but if you allow, it's like, oh, I see you could be a good detective if you just cut the crap, but it's okay that you beat up black people. I'm gonna turn my, that's my problem.
That's the problem I had too.
As he said, if he gets rid of all the cops that hate black people, he'd only have 2 left, and they'd probably hate gay people. So,
which is very indicative of the area.
Which is really the tone of the movie, which I really love. Which is just they're gonna say the N-word, they're gonna say fag, they're gonna say there was Mexican jokes, there was fat people jokes, there were.
It starts with Beaner.
My favorite scene of my favorite scenes that I've seen in a very long time was the scene in which Franz McDormand's character just talks down that priest.
Oh, that was amazing.
But really, I just loved every part of it.
Like in the Catholic Church to the Bloods and Crips.
Enjoy your tea.
Yes, that was amazing. But that's what I'm saying. Like this movie it went there, but then when you get to that final act, it just felt like this isn't the same movie I was watching in the first half. It just felt off. Like
because the first half of the movie, or maybe in the first 2/3 of the movie, is how can I make you feel worse about yourself? Like it really is this like I'm gonna one up you by making you feel even worse. By this is gonna happen now, and it can't get any worse than this. I can't feel any worse than I do right now, and then it's like then this happens. It just the 2/3 of the movie is just that happening where it has to level out at some point.
But who's supposed to feel worse?
The audience member. I think the audience member is supposed to feel. It's a pile off top of pile. Every twist is meant to show you something even worse than you saw before, until it gets to the point where it's like and then even the stuff with Rockwell, when he has this redeeming moment and then he gets burned up. It's like
But he never has a redeeming moment for me.
He saves the file.
I never gave.
He saves the file.
No, but here's the thing. I never cared because they never resolved the racist shit. Even to the point that where they get to the when he's in the bar,
he's never going to be ultimately 100%
no,
redeemable.
I understand that.
I'm saying he has redeemable qualities that his character is progressing.
It depends where your morals lie. Because he's inspired to get this file or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And at the end, one of the other problems I have with the film is the pointless character, which is just the guy that they plan to go kill. Mm-hmm. No connection to anybody. This guy just shows up out of nowhere, and it's like, maybe I know him, maybe I don't. This random. He's the MacGuffin of the movie, so to speak. Just shows up. And he's there for whatever reason they put him there. There's no reason why he's in Missouri. They don't explain why he's there. He's at the local bar for some reason. No explanation or whatever. And I'm just like, okay, so you instantly go like, I have to kill this guy. And that doesn't redeem him for me. That's more like, oh, well, I'm a shitty person, but let me just go kill this rapist I overheard raping somebody. And I don't even know.
Think of the progression, though, is, it's the whole... cases get solved 5 years after the fact where someone's just bragging at a bar. Like that's something that Woody Harrelson says at one point, right?
Yeah.
And so here Sam Rockwell he's getting drunk. He's been half burned up. And he has this chance to live through the letter. Like it's almost as if Woody Harrelson would have told him this years ago, maybe he would have been less of a shitty person. Maybe.
Or if his father didn't die and his mother wasn't a piece of garbage herself.
Yeah, it's just like... it's just at the end, I don't really feel bad for him at all.
You're not supposed to. You don't have to.
You're not supposed to feel
you either
bad for him.
Can try and understand him to an extent.
Like, I didn't get... and the other thing that bothers me is that the rules of this town are very off. Like, you get the new chief that walks in, and he's just like, oh, give me the badge and go home. This motherfucker just threw somebody out the window. That's not how this works. And then they leave him with the fucking keys to the jail. No, and then randomly, it's just this little lofty set of rules that work for the kid.
I used to have a co-host from Missouri. He can probably attest to all this.
I suppose. I just say, like, I just doesn't. if what's his face in The Wire? If this is real, because clearly he doesn't care about the white dude. Because from the beginning he's like, "What is your something about your cracker ass?" Right? He would have locked his ass up for that shit. They just let him walk away. They just let this woman blow up a police station because a midget said, "Oh, it's fine. She was with me." It's just, I don't know. It's just too much convenience in the way they let things go for me to it separated me. That's why I said the minute the Molotov shit happens, it's like conveniently he's there that night because he has the keys and he has to get this fucking letter that the guy could have just dropped off at his house.
Yeah, just keep the keys on the table. That's why the movie is 3 billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri, because it stressed the point that this is its own small town with its own rules.
I suppose
there are really no outsiders, except for the news person or the
new chief.
The new chief, who's the one who comes in who cleans it up basically.
Or does he?
But he's also the guy who comes in knowing he can't just. There's only so much he can do with this town, so he can get rid of that guy, but he can't come in and just prosecute him probably.
Yeah, he could have.
And that kid in Red up in the Billboard store, who's great in this movie.
Yeah. Really.
Yeah, he was good.
Liked him much better in this than I did in Get Out.
Yes. And the odds of him pressing charges in this town probably weren't going to happen.
Yeah. You don't need to press charges when there's witnesses.
Any of this director's previous movies? I think his name is Martin
McDonough.
Look, he did Seven Psychopaths. You ever see that one?
Okay. He said in Bruges. Yeah, I've seen that.
Seven Psychopaths.
Dark comedy guy.
Yeah. And also Rockwell's in that one, and Seven Psychopaths. And it's it's not similar in structure or tone, but it's similar to what you're saying, Nick, with how you feel about this movie is kind of how I feel about Seven Psychopaths. I felt more connected to this movie. Overall, listen, there's great acting in this movie.
That's what saves it.
Great acting. That and as much as I love Rockwell, I honestly think Harrelson's performance is better.
Oh, I thought.
I think he's the best actor in the movie.
I thought Harrelson's performance was the best in this movie.
Yeah,
McDormand's. I was kind of iffy on McDormand at times.
It was almost too much sometimes.
Yeah, her performance.
It was a
little all over the place.
That's the stand and nothing happens and all this other stuff.
Yeah, but she's supposed to be kind of all over the place. Yeah. She's hard, tough woman.
No, I don't think she was all over the place.
Anytime she's alone, you see she's crumbling. Yeah.
But Harrelson was fantastic.
Oh, he's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, he's good.
He's great. He's great when the material is shitty, though. But in some weird way, he's always just playing Harrelson. So is he great? Or is he just...
No.
Is he any different than the character he played in True Detective? Not much. He's a toned down version of the general he played in Apes. Harrelson has a note that he plays. There's a note that he plays. That's all I'm saying. And it's a great note because it works in whatever. They cast him in things that only he could do.
I was thrown by his wife.
Oh, yeah.
Her accent was odd.
She's an Australian woman who's playing a Southern Belle type, so her accent was just way over the top.
Yeah.
Odd.
But they had a fun encounter. I'd seen this movie back when it came out originally. You guys just seen it now, so I've seen it. I watched it again, too. But it was hard to explain what happened in this movie a lot because so much of it's spoilers. Like, you can't really talk about Woody Harrelson's character without spoiling what's happening, because the whole point of this movie is that she puts up these 3 billboards attacking Chief Willoughby, Harrison's character, and he goes up to her and's like, "Oh, I have cancer. I'm dying." She's like, "Yeah, I don't care."
I know.
That's great. I wouldn't either.
No, I know.
So you get that in the first 10 minutes, but you can't tell somebody that before going in because that's like the first shock of the movie.
Yeah.
And then the whole story. The story of the daughter is it's horrifying. It's just horrifying.
Yeah.
It is.
Because they didn't even show you, this movie promotionally was 3 billboards. They show you, I think, one of them.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't show you all the billboards because one of them is raped and murdered, raped while dying.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's how they played it off.
You can't build a commercial campaign around that sign.
No, you can't. But that's how it starts off. You don't see the 3rd billboard till about 5-10 minutes in. And you're like, when they're driving off, you're like, oh.
It's hard to explain what this movie's about without, unless someone's seen it. That's everything. It's just to find out how she died, and they show the flashback of before she died. She said, "Oh, I'm gonna go. I hope I go get raped." She's like, "Oh, good. I hope you do too." It's like, Oh, Jesus Christ.
I do love how when he arrests the black woman, they just acted like nothing happened. This is like they acted like she went on vacation and she came back. She's like, "Oh, hey, girl, how you doing?" Like, no, I was in fucking jail.
But
Like,
it also shows that they're kind of used to, not that they should be used to it, but it's just that they are, and it's just.
But here's the problem, because from the beginning, this is why I say the movie goes for it from the beginning. When you see the scene with the kid that's putting up the first billboard, and his scene with Rockwell, he's just like, he's there. He's telling him like, I don't give a fuck about what this is, because I am this person. I'm telling you, I'm black, this and that. And then it's like the next time you see him, it's just like, I kind of just don't, whatever. Racism's an afterthought. Let's just worry about this other shit. And it was just like, all right, I don't know. It just felt so like they had me. They really had me in the beginning, and then they just it drifted away from me. That's all. I do, and there's another thing that, like, even Dinklage's character, this lofty set of rules that happen in this town. It's just like he's not a good person either, so to speak. Like, he did her a favor because he wanted to fuck.
Not so much. I mean,
I think. Listen, it's a part of it, but I also think he realizes that because the assumption was that Rockwell was the one that burned down the signs, and plus it was right after Rockwell had already thrown Red out the window, and so to me it was like Dinklage was like, after having that bar scene previously, it was she's not entirely in the right, but she's not in the wrong, and she doesn't really deserve to go to jail for this. Because the only person that was hurt here was Rockwell, and up until that point, Rockwell has zero redeeming qualities.
This is where I get at. The movie, it's depending on where your set of morals lie. Because in my eyes, I'm looking at it as, I might get a little political, but I'm saying if that was the mother of, like, a Michael Brown who blows up a police station, they're throwing the book at her, and nobody cares. So the way they do this, it's almost like, oh, well, it's whatever. It's a white woman. Like, we don't have to arrest her for blowing up a police station and almost killing a cop or ex-cop. It doesn't matter. I mean, because the midget said it's fine. Like, no, I'm sorry. This is what I'm saying. It really deals with how you view the morality of it. Like, if you are perfectly fine with redeeming people for doing fucked up shit because they went through fucked up shit, then all right, cool. But if you also look at it in the bigger picture of the things that would occur had this not been who this character is, and I think the movie kind of misses that a little bit because in the treatment of how they treated the girl that gets arrested, because it's just like, oh, she wouldn't be that happy. She spent like a couple of days in jail for
I think you're being a little.
I don't know. I'm just saying, because they went for it from the beginning. This is what I'm saying. That was a major thing. From the beginning, you start the movie. It's like, you say Beaner, you say this, and it's just like, you racist bastard. And then the scene in the jail where he's just like, I'm harassing people of color because he doesn't want to say the N-word because somehow that changes anything. Like,
but it also makes it clear that most of the town is not for that behavior. Most of the town does not like Sam Rockwell. I mean, almost all the town does not like Sam Rockwell. They put up with him because they're not great. They're not perfect either. They allow this shit to happen. But they almost take all their lead from the Willoughby character. But he's not liked in town. Everyone talks shit on him. Everyone mocks him to his face for the most part. Including the Billboard kid does. Francis McDormand mocks him openly to his face. Even Dinklage, to an extent, mocks him. So he's not a respected man in town for his racist. Even the cops around him want him gone. When he gets fired, no one's upset about it.
Yeah, who's that?
No.
I know the actor that plays the other cop, like the bald cop.
Yeah, he's great.
He's great.
Beliko Ivanic.
Yeah,
he's the guy you've seen in everything.
Yeah, and when
he goes to Woody Harrelson early on, like, why are you still?
Yeah.
But he wanted them gone from even when Woody Harrelson was around. He's like, why is he still here? He's like, oh, come on,
But he's also the asshole that said, just bring the keys and just, come get this letter with the keys that you're not supposed to have.
He's not a strong person, really. He has all these, he's like, oh, just don't come in. He's one of those don't rock the boat. There's a lot of people in this movie town that don't rock the, they don't want to rock the boat.
Yeah, I can see that.
Except Francis McDormand's character rocks the boat.
Isn't that kind of like a statement about the United States and the political climate that we're living in? Is there's just a lot of bad stuff going on, and for the most part, people just not rocking the boat. They, you know, the majority of people in this country are more just like the people that are speaking up about the stuff that's going on. They're in the minority. Like,
yeah, the minority on each side are the loudest people.
And the biggest population of people are just kind of like, listen, I want to make a living. I want to, you know, I want to get by. I don't care about this shit. That's kind of what this town is alike, you know, akin to for the most part. Just people just like, you know, it's bad, but you know,
we can do.
I guess. I mean, it's also weird that it's in Missouri, considering that Ferguson was in Missouri.
Missouri, but it's barely. Have you ever looked at Missouri? It's a big state.
No, I get that it's big, but I don't know what Ebbing is. It's just it's the
it's
choice.
It's barely mentioned that it's even in Missouri either.
Yeah.
It's in the title and it's in the news reports about the signs, but no one makes any Missouri statements. No one makes any. There's a few statements about the South in general.
Yeah.
But you know, even the road where they put the signs up, or is this, you know, back road where no one goes on unless you're lost or retarded.
From like West Virginia down to Alabama. I
mean, this is really any small town USA. This was not a
indictment. No, small town South.
Small town.
Could have been Midwest.
You know, some
Jersey. Yeah.
You've seen some Jersey towns like this, Nick.
Well, Jersey's America.
Every state has a South. You know.
Yeah.
And so, but it's at a point. I forget what the point was. But there's no. Well, this is how we act in Missouri type of. So there are people who came out and were like offended about, you know, what this movie said about Missouri, but I don't think it was any indictment on them at all. It was an indictment more on a society, and it picked this town because it was a good title, you know.
I guess so.
Is that an actual town?
I don't think it is. It might be, but it's definitely not like this, you know, if it is.
No, it's not.
Do you think the title even works? I mean, shouldn't it just be called Three Billboards? I mean,
it should be called Three Billboards. That's I mean, it's slangily you. I mean, when I said, "Hey, we're doing Three Billboards," I mean, it's just. But every once in a while, you have one of those movies where the title is 5 words longer than it really is, and everyone forgets what it was. You know, all those Harry Potter movies, all those Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. No one ever includes the Where to Find Them part.
If this movie was kind of a surprise, like a surprise success, like I remember it came out to very little fanfare. There wasn't a lot of people talking about it initially leading up to it, and once it came out, I was like, oh wow, this is a really good movie. Yeah.
Well, it's got such a strong cast behind it, and it didn't, you know, it's not a blockbuster by any stance. But
I didn't know it was a thing
for a small indie movie. It made over $50 million domestically, which is a success, you know.
But I mean,
and
really,
you know, I mean, it's
seemed like one of those indie movies that can pass, you know, come and go, and don't blink an eye, and then it just turned into something bigger.
Well, because nobody knew what it like. That's the thing. It's misleading. I hear the word Three Billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri, and I'm just like, I don't want to watch this.
Well, it was sold as the Frances McDormand movie where she's kind of a badass woman taking on the establishment of this town, but you don't know for what reason. Once you find out the reason,
it's almost like they should have advertised the reason.
It could, but it's almost so intense.
It's not a spoiler.
No, but it's the way it happened is hard to talk about. You know, why the conflict. You know, there's only a conflict between her and the town is because the guy's dying, so you couldn't really talk about that. Because, you know, it's weird that in this town where this woman's, you know, daughter was murdered and raped and all this horrible stuff, she's seen as the villain for the most part.
It's another problem I have with this movie, because it just seems like the lofty set of morals in this town.
Well, because,
like,
it's a town
that feel for this woman.
No, but it's the America loves their police force when it's not the FBI and it's not on your side. You know, everyone stands up for the cops in these small towns.
You know, oddly enough, that's, I think, the only reason that the military guy was even in the movie.
Yeah, I was surprised that didn't get any more.
Because other than that, he has no connection to anybody there. He just kind of shows up to be an antagonist for absolutely no reason. And then it's like, yeah, let's just go kill him.
I mean, it's still never clear whether they're going to do it or not.
It doesn't matter
if they do. Yeah.
But I thought the movie would have been better if he was just the guy. I thought that would have been an easier ending.
I thought they should have just made the father the guy.
Yeah,
you're gonna go all out. You go all out. Fuck it.
That would have been too hardcore.
Too hardcore. I don't know.
So who was it?
No,
there's so many John Hawkes.
Yeah,
John Hawkes is great. He's in Deadwood.
Deadwood. He's in a bunch of shit.
Down.
There's a lot. So many people in this movie. It's like, oh, you've seen him 1,000 times. That's why it's so good. It's such a good character actor-driven movie.
Yes,
but he's such the abusive, drunken asshole husband.
Yeah.
And he does so many horrible things to her in like such passively aggressive ways that it's just like they have the big fight in the house, and it looks like he does his customary "oh, I'm sorry" bullshit moment that any abusing guy does.
And as he's leaving, a knife to his throat.
Yeah, after something to his throat.
They don't really deal with the son well.
The son, he was one of the bigger, like the interesting parts for me because you see some of it through his eyes, and that takes away from McDormand's character because. You know, she doesn't even take into account that he might not want to see that billboard.
Mm-hmm. But in the same sense, they don't and then the son goes through this after Willoughby dies, right? And the son just kind of disappears after that.
Well, you can see he still has to deal with the nonsense because they go to school and the kids all hate her, and you know she goes.
But it's just
kicks one kid in the dick and the other girl in the crotch, and he's like, "Oh, great, Mom, thanks. I got to deal with this shit some more."
Yeah,
but
still, it's gonna make me popular.
But even at the end, he's still there to support his mother. I mean, that's, I guess,
because he has no choice. That's what he lives with.
You know, he helps put the billboard back up again. He's, you know. But that was a powerful scene, I thought, too, when they're both driving. And he's like, did you ever stop to think I didn't want to have to think about this every day when I'm driving home? Yeah. And you could tell she didn't consider that. And she's not a great mother by any stretch.
No, because she said what happened.
Cares, of course, but she tries. But, you know, it's a very odd, loose language that they use in the house where... You know, they call her a cunt half the time, or
yeah, that is some very.
It's a movie that makes you. It made me squirm a few times watching. I mean,
yeah, it's definitely not a feel good movie. Gotta say that it's not a feel good.
But it's still funny in parts too. That's what's crazy about it.
Because it's like the 19-year-old. She exists for comedic relief. That's it. Like even that's a part. It's like, all right, well, why does he have to go? Okay, cool, whatever. Shit, girl.
Harrelson, even in his suicide notes, you know.
Oh God, yeah.
All of the suicide notes have something funny about them, you know.
Because it's Harrelson being Harrelson, man. It's
like, and the ultimate joke of him paying for the billboard for a month, just so it's like, I'm gonna be dead for a month, so you're gonna have to deal with
defend this picture thing. Yeah. But even Rockwell's character, you know, we watch him do this heinous thing of throwing the red character out the window, punching a girl in the face, you know, almost killing this kid. And then he comes back, he's sitting in the station, and the new sheriff comes in town. He's like, you know, don't you crackers have something to do? And he just muddles on his breath, that's racist. And it's just, you laugh, because it's just funny. Even though you know this guy's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
It's just this weird thing in this movie that you can laugh and still be squirming at the same time.
It's funny because you're like the gall of it, but it's a natural moment that an idiot like that would say.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's why it works. Like that worked well. I just don't understand how it doesn't go past him getting fired. Which again, I guess maybe that was the point, that cops don't ever have any consequences. Because, truthfully speaking, I was telling Marty about this. I was like, you know what the shame of this whole thing is? That happens in real life. That guy gets fired and ends up working at another police district 4 times over.
And that was the same point she made about the priest, too.
Exactly. So it was just...
I love... That was, my favorite scene.
Oh, yeah. That might be my...
stress that enough how awesome she took down the Catholic Church that way.
Yeah, that was great. That was better than... what's that movie you liked last year?
Religulous?
No, not Religious. The movie about the Catholic Church with Liev Schreiber.
Spotlight.
Spotlight. That was Spotlight in one.
That was Spotlight in one scene, basically.
One scene. It's like, you want to know what Spotlight is? It's that. I bet you Ray hated that scene.
Yeah, you know, the shame of it is and you know, Marty's making fun of it on Twitter already. I'm a huge Sam Rockwell fan, and I think he's such a fantastic actor. This wasn't his best role by far. This was not his best role. He's gonna win. We'll get into that a little bit later. He's gonna win the Oscar for it. And listen, he's got a great career. He's put out some hell of great performances. You know, Robert Mealy mentions in the chat, Moon, solid performance there. Loved him in Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. Like brilliant performance there. So this guy's got such a great career, and he's going to win for playing a racist.
That's my point about these Oscars sometimes, is that you get awards for playing horrible people. Yeah. And it's just... Allison Janney might do the same thing. And it's
even,
not. It's
even
just people get too
Francis
much credit for
McDermott.
playing shithead sometimes.
Well, that's the thing, is because when you're playing a great person, the idea is it's not that hard to act that. It's almost like you always get more credit for being the villain. It's like wrestling. Everybody enjoys the bad guy.
But doesn't everyone says in wrestling that it's always easier to play the bad guy? You can just do whatever you want, say whatever you want. So it's
and the problem I have
take on a character and give it different layers. It gets harder.
And you know, the crazy thing about that is it's what we were talking about at work. It was just like you look at these roles and you go, this person's nominated for this role because they did so great. Now, a lot of it is it the material more than the actor?
Yeah, I mean, it's a mixture of both, though. And honestly, isn't it the ebbs and flows of what gets nominated? Like, sometimes it's the year of the mentally disturbed person. Sometimes it's the year of the sick person. Sometimes this is the year of the asshole. Which, again, when we get to our Oscar
asshole
picks,
and a strong woman.
It would be interesting, though, when we talk about Best Actor, because who is in the lead right now, knowing that it's the year of the asshole, I wonder if he doesn't actually win. So we'll get to that in a little bit. Anything else about Three Billboards? I think we've kind of tackled it.
Yeah, we'll still talk on some things that it's going to come up in all the Oscar picks too. Right. So
yeah.
So let's transition into that. Let's go to our Oscars. Let's start off with original screenplay. So original screenplay, I've seen 3 out of the 5. So we got Big Sick by Emily V. Gordon and Kamel.
That's on Amazon if anybody wants to watch it.
Yep.
Yeah.
We got Get Out by Jordan Peele. We got Lady Bird by Greta Gerwig. We got Shape of Water by Guillermo del Toro and Vanessa Taylor. And Three Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri by Martin McDonough. That is the original.
Okay, so I've seen all these actually.
I've seen a couple.
I would not be surprised if Get Out kind of sneaks it.
This will be an interesting first one if they do this early on to kind of see where the night's going to go.
I'm assuming Three Billboards wins, though.
If Three Billboards wins, it's going to win everything, I would imagine.
It's not going to win Best Director because it's not.
Well, he's not nominated for Best Director,
which is always weird.
It's going to be an Argo type year.
Yeah,
no, I think Three Billboards wins this.
Big Sick was interesting. It was an interesting movie, but it's
that's the one that's not going to win.
No.
So I think the other 4 have a chance of winning. If I had to rank them,
Shape of Water has a little too much of plagiarism.
I think that's 4th. Yeah, out of the 5. I think it pretty much goes Three Billboards, Get Out, Lady Bird, Shape of Water, then Big Sick.
I wouldn't.
That's a morality issue. Then it's gonna end up where you lie, like where you believe these things work. Because there were the Three Billboards criticism. A lot of the criticisms I've had of the movie are things that I read online also after I watched the movie.
Oh yeah, the ending is not for everybody.
And I also have criticisms of Get Out.
Yeah, there's the
I can
for
see
Get Out isn't for everybody.
Yeah, I can see this being the one where Get Out wins, just to because I don't think he's going to win Best Director.
I think this is the one that I agree. I think they're going to give Get Out something, and I think this might be it.
I can see him winning Best Director. Just
everything. Del Toro's.
It's Del Toro's. Yeah.
Spoiler to when we talk about Best Director in a minute.
Okay, so I'd say
I'm gonna
favorite. The favorite is still Three Billboards, but I think there's a good outside chance Get Out wins this one.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a strong favorite. I think it's one of those.
Yeah, I think
it's a pretty even field this year.
Yeah.
Across the board, but I think I'm going to say Get Out wins just to do it on the limb.
I say Three Billboards. Nick?
I would say Three Billboards.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to Adapted. Adapted, we have Call Me By Your Name by James Ivory. We got The Disaster Artist by Scott Neustetler and Michael H. Weber. We got Logan by Scott Frank, James Mangold, and Michael Green. We got Molly's Game by Aaron Sorkin, and Mudbound by Virgil Williams and Dee Reese. I've seen 2 of these.
Yeah, I've only seen.
I saw 1.
2 actually. Yeah.
From
Molly's Game was supposed to be.
Molly's Game I've heard a lot about, and it's Aaron Sorkin.
That was supposed to be a much higher. That was supposed to do much better. It kind of flopped out in late December.
Yeah. Call Me By Your Name is nominated for Best Picture, so I think that's probably going to win the adapted screenplay.
Yeah, I would imagine. Mudbound possible. That's also on Amazon, I believe, or Netflix.
When you know the source material of Logan and you see the movie that they pulled off, it's it's such a great adaptation, just because the way they were able to turn this crazy off the wall storyline that had characters that you can't put in the movie, and they turned it into what they turned it into, this Western, so to speak. I wouldn't be surprised if they finally decide to give a comic movie some type, but I don't think it's happening.
I don't think so. I think the award is being nominated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the award it's got a nomination.
It was the only.
I'm gonna say Call Me by Your Name, just because it's nominated for best.
The disaster artist was really good too. What they were able to do with those,
really good.
With the books and the movie, but
it just kind of faded.
Yeah, that got a pretty big cloud over it once Franco's bullshit came out. Yeah. And again, that also came out. When did we see that? Like September, October?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's been a while. So yeah, I'll go with Call Me by Your Name.
James Ivory. Yeah.
Nick.
I mean, I've only seen one of them, so I'll defer to you guys. I don't want to be the guy that picks the comic movie just because that's the one he saw.
Again, that'd be the one that, again, if they're gonna go crazy, you know, if they're gonna say we're gonna give Get Out one, and like, it's a good point that maybe they would give a comic movie an award here, but again, they consider just nominating these things as an award enough. For...
This is a tough actual category though, because it goes because it depends where you're looking at when it comes to adaptation. You know what I mean? Like I said, like the factors beyond when you look at how Logan was adapted from this off the wall story and they adapted into this movie that actually works. It's crazy. So you almost have to give it some type of credit for what they did in that aspect, because it's not like anything in the MCU where they're super comic-y. It's not like that. Like they turned this. It's almost unfair to call this a comic movie.
No, it's more of a graphic novel movie. Like think about that. Think about some of the better graphic novels. I mean, Watchmen, great not a great adaptation of the source material, but a great movie.
Well, it was a straight word for word adaptation. That was the problem.
Up until the end.
Up until the end.
Up until the end. History of Violence, though. That like I akin Logan to like more of History of a Violence than I would Logan to,
or even Kick-Ass.
You know. But you know what I'm saying is that it's the graphic novels that tend to have more heaviness to them as opposed to just straight up trade comics. And this felt more like a one of those. All right, moving on to director. Let's see. I've seen 3. Marty's seen all 5. I've seen 3 out of the 5.
This is rough. You can give this one to any of them, and I'd be happy.
I mean,
maybe
Jordan Peele. Del Toro's going to win.
The only way he's not going to win if that plagiarism stuff is actually... I think most of it came out after the voting, so I don't think that'll be a problem. He did a great job with the movie.
Yeah, that doesn't mean they don't fix it after the fact.
Paul Thomas Anderson's... What he did with Phantom Thread, I loved. But you're not hearing a lot about this movie for some reason. Lady Bird was great. What she did with Sacramento for that movie really came to life. The scenery and the actors for that. Almost all the actors for that one are nominated too. So,
and even Dunkirk, man.
Dunkirk's amazing visually.
Amazing.
And Get Out for Jordan Peele, his first big movie, to do what he did with that movie. I thought was impressive. But again,
solid 5. A very solid 5. You know,
that's a tough 5. You can I can make a case for any one of them winning. So. But I think
my hope is
Guillermo
PT.
del Toro.
Yeah, my hope is PT. But I'm guessing Guillermo.
Marty's point about Dunkirk being amazing visually, it's almost more of a cinematic point.
Yeah.
It's
so cinematography.
Yeah.
But Nolan does all that stuff as well.
I guess, but you know, the thing that I loved so much about Dunkirk as well is it's a very intimate actor driving. So as grand as it is and as big in scope as it is, the majority of it takes place in this small cabin of a boat where it's very actor driven, and it's the director getting the most out of the actors, and even the being on the beachhead, right?
Yeah.
Very tight shots, grand stuff going on in the background, but it's very just director and actors just one-on-one in many of the scenes in that film, and that's why I really appreciate what Nolan did there.
I hope it wins something, whether it's sound or visual effects, not effects, but I mean cinematography, because he needs to be acknowledged for what he did with this movie.
This is actually his first ever nomination for Best Movie, Nolan, oddly enough.
For Best Picture or Best Director?
Yeah,
for Best Director before, though, right?
Yeah, he's never won though.
No, never won that.
He's the new Best Director, never to win guy.
It's overrated. Anyway, Stanley Kubrick never won Best Director, so I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want PT to win. Guillermo, more than likely.
Yeah, it's gonna. Yeah, Guillermo del Toro will win. Paul Thomas Anderson, I think, should win.
I am going off the wall. Well, not really off the wall. I can see Get Out winning because
well, we'll know early on if he wins.
Yeah.
If he wins,
they're gonna have to give him something because they don't want. They want to avoid an Oscar so white happening again.
Yeah, and I think it'll be the screenplay more than the director.
So,
supporting actress, we got Mary J. Blige in Mudbound. We got Allison Janney in I, Tonya. We got Leslie Manville in Phantom Thread. We got Laurie Metcalf in Lady Bird. And we got Octavia Spencer in The Shape of Water. Allison Janney seems to be the favorite. Yeah. I would argue that the best supporting actress of a movie this year wasn't even nominated.
That happens.
The other female
other one,
Phantom Thread. Yeah. I've been fighting with our friend Mike about Allison Janney this whole season, and we saw Tanya.
Her.
No, I don't like what she did to my favorite show, The West Wing. I will not lie. But we saw Tanya. We thought she was great, but I just think she didn't have to do enough in this role. When you watch performance and you put it side by side with the video of the mother of actual, Tanya Harding, it just seems like she just copied what that woman was, and the woman was a horrible person, so she just copied that.
Well, that's the problem.
Leslie Manville, I thought, had to be a much more layered character in her role. Laurie Metcalf, she won the Golden Globe on her side of the nominations, so there's a chance she can win. I thought she was great.
I'd be happy if she did.
Yeah, because she's been in this, she's been doing this since Roseanne in the fucking 80s, for God's sakes.
Mm-hmm.
And she's got, I think, a Tony and an Emmy, so, I mean, not an Emmy, I mean Grammy. So Mary J. Blige, I didn't see, but I mean, she'd be close to the EGOT if she got this one as well. I think she has an Emmy, and she might have a Tony.
An Emmy for what?
No, I mean a Grammy. I'm sorry, I'm slipping.
She definitely. Well, I don't even know if she has a Grammy.
She must have some kind of Grammy.
I guess.
They give away 50.
Everyone wins a Grammy now.
I mean, she got a Grammy for that.
Homer Simpson has a Grammy, for God's sakes. So again, Allison Janney has won the SAG Award, won the Golden Globe, won a bunch of other ones. So she's gonna win. But yeah, she's gonna. But I really would have liked Leslie Manville.
I think I agree with you. I mean, it's a good performance. I like Leslie Manville a lot, and again, I still feel that the best supporting actress wasn't nominated, and it's tough.
And Octavia Spencer is good in Shape of Water because she's always good, but she kind of plays her typical Octavia Spencer character that we kind of seen in. Hidden Figures. She kind of plays that in The Help. It's kind of the same.
The Woody argument that I had. Yeah.
Which, I mean, even in that role, she's still, even when like Woody does, they always bring something extra to it that kind of separates it. That's what great actors always do that.
Yeah.
Supporting actor, we got Willem Dafoe in The Florida Project, which is on demand. I want to check it out. Maybe that might be this weekend. I might try to watch it this weekend. I want to see Florida Project. Woody Harrelson, 3 Billboards. Richard Jenkins, Shape of Water. Christopher Plummer, all the money in the world.
Such a horrible. I can't. It's so horrible.
Fuck you, Kevin Spacey. And then, of course, Sam Rockwell, 3 Billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri, where Sam Rockwell's going to win this award, but I would argue.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, he's won every award so far.
Has he?
Yeah, he won.
This is his award. I would love to see Woody Harrelson though.
Woody should win.
Richard Jenkins plays a great role in A Shape of Water, but again, it's kind of like the role you always see him in.
Patrick Stewart was snubbed.
He could have got the Christopher Plummer nomination.
They should have nominated Patrick Stewart. Like there was a lot of weight to his Xavier in Logan. A lot of weight to that.
Yeah, I didn't like how Plummer just kind of rolled onto a set, played the same kind of actor he always plays. And was just given an award for whatever reason. Yeah. And nothing else from that movie is nominated.
No.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just like out of nowhere.
It's like, hey, just give it to this guy.
Just to kind of, acknowledge what he did or acknowledge what a shitty person gave Spacey. I'm not sure what the reasoning behind this was. I'm sure he's great. He's a great actor. He's great in everything he does. But a movie that's got no fanfare really other than Scandal, didn't make any money, didn't get a Best Director, didn't get Best Actor or Actress. I mean,
yeah. And
who is he the best at supporting in this movie?
Yeah, again, I'd be happy with. I like Willem Dafoe as well, and I've heard great things about the Florida Project. I'd be happy if Woody or I'll be really thrilled if Sam wins. And again, I have a bias towards Sam.
We will have had an Oscar winner on the show.
That's right.
They almost have to go from.
We'll have a...
Maybe we'll get a thank you in the speech.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. I would like to thank the Movies and Stuff show.
Having to be on our show made him completely rethink his life and how he approached acting.
Yeah, he did our show and realized, like, what the hell am I doing? He did ask me for advice about buying a TV. I thought that was pretty funny.
Oh, well, there you go.
I want to thank Dan Lazarski and Movie Stuff Show for my 60-inch Samsung.
I'm going to buy a big TV now. Now that I have an Oscar, I'm going to ask for money.
Now I can watch it myself.
He's such a nice guy, though. He's really a nice guy.
You root for him. I mean, even though his character is deplorable, you root for him. Because he was even the best part of Iron Man 2, for God's sake.
Oh, he's fantastic in Iron Man 2. He's a great villain. He's one of the best MCU villains.
Yeah. I mean,
Galaxy Quest. He's fantastic in Galaxy Quest.
Great in Galaxy Quest as the other guy.
So good in Galaxy Quest.
So are we calling this a Lifetime Achievement Award?
That's what Oscars almost always come down to at some point. I mean,
here's the thing. I think the problem with picking him, even though that's probably where it's gonna be, is if you take Woody out of that movie, this one I don't think it's nominated as much. Because he is that driving force in that first half of the movie up until he kills himself. He's the only part of that's one of the only parts of the movie I was like, oh shit, they really did that. That's
yeah. I mean, who do they replace him with? Like I don't see another actor that they could.
That's what I'm saying. Like it was so perfect.
Tommy Lee Jones,
he was so good in it, man. Could work, but Tommy
Lee Jones
does the same shit too.
Christopher Plummer.
I do not.
Or they could have used a grizzled, angry Harrison Ford.
I do not want anyone referring to Tommy Lee Jones as cock and Oscar Wilde. I don't want that.
That was such a Woody Harrelson scene.
Was that a Shakespeare?
Yeah.
Oscar Wilde.
And then he puts it in the fucking letter before he pops.
Oh, that's good. I mean, it's the most planned out, beautifully done suicide I think we ever seen on film.
Oh man, it's terrible though. It's like don't open the bag.
Because it was like
don't open the bag. It's
don't open the bag. Call the boys. Like, yeah. And honestly, like Rockwell's breakdown after Harrelson kills himself is, he's in that, he's listening to his music and like everyone's just kind of like, and then you see him in the bathroom and it's like, oh man.
I still didn't give a shit.
All right, going on to lead actress, we got Sally Hawkins in The Shape of Water. We got Frances McDormand, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. We got Margot Robbie and I, Tonya. Suarez Ronan in Lady Bird, and Meryl Streep in The Post. I could have done without Meryl Streep nominated.
Not be nominated. They got to stop. I mean, she's great. God bless her.
She is. She's a great actress.
But she doesn't need to be nominated every time she's in a movie.
So she shows up and she's nominated.
Yeah. And she's good in the movie. But it's again.
When is she not good?
Is not nominated for a lot of other things.
LeBron
and it was supposed to be the Oscar movie basically, and it just didn't work. And so it seems like she just has a placeholder nomination at this point. I don't know who else we would put in that spot. Maybe.
I don't know either. But honestly, I would rather put the other woman from Fan with Red.
Yeah, I would have
best actress. I would have been fine with that.
Ronan is gonna win one eventually, but not this year. She's great in this movie, and she was great in Brooklyn, so it's 2 for 2 for her already. She'll win one. Margot Robbie is great to see her nominated.
She's great, and that's the whole thing. Is remember the criticism you just mentioned about Allison? I think Margot Robbie is the opposite. Whereas
she had less to work with, and she kind of did.
I think she excelled really, and that's probably my favorite performance out of. Well, I've only seen 3 out of 5, but out of the 3 out of 5 I've seen, it's probably my favorite is the Margot Robbie performance.
I've never seen Margot be bad. Like if every time I've ever seen her on screen, even she's even good in that god awful Will Smith movie she did.
You know what? You're right.
She's so good, man.
They actually had really good chemistry in that movie.
Yeah, that's why they worked.
That's why they worked well in Suicide Squad.
But they worked really well in that movie. I can't even think of the name of it. But yeah, most
of
it.
One word.
Yeah.
They play con men or something.
Yeah. No, she was good.
Focus.
There you go.
And then
Sally Hawkins is great. She does so much in this movie.
She's mute. Right?
Without speaking. She has very few words she says in the movie, but she still gives out so much emotion that she is amazing in the film. Right. But it's Frances McDormand's going to win. Yeah. It's just
yes.
She's the woman for this moment.
Yeah,
as well.
Yes.
She's going to give a great fucking speech.
You're the asshole. You're the asshole.
Yeah.
I want to go Margot.
Her as herself, and she's going to go up there and say all the right things about the moment.
And the reason I want to go Margot is I feel like she's in the movie that more people wanted to see. Because there's a big thing with Oscar. This is a problem I have with Oscars a lot. A lot of movies that get nominated are movies that are literally just made for the Academy. Literally, movies that just come out for Oscar nomination. And the movie like I, Tonya, it appeals to way more of the public because it's such a big
pop culture is a big thing of pop
yeah,
culture.
that's what I'm saying. So for movies like that to get nominated, I feel like it's an extra level of it because it wasn't made for Oscar nomination and it ended up there. Like
other than The Post, though, I don't think you can say that about any of these movies.
Three Billboards is made for Oscar nomination.
It is, but it's also a good story and it's important.
That doesn't take away from it.
It's not like it's not over the top. Oh, this is our Oscar scene type thing.
Yeah, I would tag this as an Oscar bait movie.
Shape of Water is a really good story, and Del Toro just tells his stories that he wants to tell. Whether or not he created himself or stole some parts of it is another story. And then Lady Bird, Greta Gerwig did a great job with that as well. And it's an Oscar movie in terms of like the same way Brooklyn kind of was, but it's a movie that not a lot of people would see unless it was nominated. So that's what
I'm saying. Like I, Tonya is not. It wasn't that kind of a movie.
Only because it's one of the biggest scandals of the 90s.
But that's the only reason
it comes up every Olympics, and it came up in a right kind of year.
Just think about it. It could have been an American crime story on FX.
Oh yeah, it could have
been season 3. You know,
Margot Robbie is one of the more successful women in Hollywood right now. So to put her front and center is always going to get moved. You know,
and I think honestly, I think she deserves it. Just as
she's great. Yeah,
she's never bad.
One eventually, that's clear.
I would hope. I hope this isn't like the one moment in her career. It's like, oh, I lost, and you never see her there again.
Just because she was so good in Wolf.
She was
amazing. Wolf. Yeah, really absolutely fell in love with her in Wolf.
Oh, I mean, come on.
I never watched. That's not hard. I mean, that is not hard.
That's a rare comment.
Yeah, I've never seen her in Pan Am though. This will be fair. I didn't get to see that show, but I don't think anybody got to see it.
She's one too. She's been on like sitcoms from back in the day that you'll hop up and I was like, oh shit, Margot Robbie's in his bad sitcom on CBS.
Moving on to lead actor, you got Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah,
Call Me by Your Name. Daniel Day-Lewis, Phantom Thread. Daniel Kaluuya from Get Out. Gary Oldman, Darkest Hour. Denzel Washington, Roman J. Israel Esquire.
I don't understand why Denzel's nominated. Okay. Denzel's nominated because
he's Meryl Streep.
He's Meryl Streep.
Because Tom Hanks did not put on as big of a performance as you expected. That's why Denzel's nominated.
No, that and they owe him one because
and you couldn't nominate James Franco.
No. Yeah.
Because of everything. James Franco should have been nominated over at least 2 of these guys.
Yeah.
Daniel Kaluuya shouldn't have been nominated. I don't really think he was that great.
I know he's not. I mean, I don't hate him as much as you guys. Not Dan, but Nick and Jameel hate him.
I don't hate him. He has one emotion, and it's a little annoying for me.
So, but at no point when I'm watching Get Out do I think, wow, this is an Oscar-worthy, performance.
No, I would argue that the girl got snubbed. I forget her name. She should have been in that Best Actress category because she drives that movie.
Again, Gary Oldman's won all the awards so far.
Probably gonna win. But if we're gonna go Year of the Asshole,
I really want Daniel Day-Lewis to win.
So fucking good.
He's like the Jesus of acting. He's got to win.
I just thought about something. The girl in Get Out. I got a feeling I know why she didn't get nominated.
Because of her.
Because you don't want the white girl winning.
Yeah, but they do that so much with Brad
no, because it would just be like just coincidence
and shit like that. I mean,
they nominate her, they don't nominate him, and then let's say she wins. It's like, oh, this is the big black movie of the year, but the white girl.
Supporting actress was such a tough category.
I don't think she's a supporting actress. I think she's a lead.
She's not in enough, I don't think, to be considered a lead. It's just so many other people around, and he's barely, he's the lead, but he just doesn't control the movie either.
At all.
So if you're you're getting a lead actor or actress nomination, you should be the driving force of the movie.
You're just
the story is more the driving force than Get Out. He's just kind of the vessel, the vessel, as it were.
Gotcha.
But I mean, Gary Oldman's going to win. He's won all the awards, and he's great.
Lewis, though.
Daniel Day-Lewis is the best actor in the world, so when he's acting, he should win. I mean, it's like
but
the same.
Again,
LeBron is always the best player, but he doesn't always win the MVP.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't give it to him every year.
How many? Daniel Day has 3, right? He's won 3.
3, yeah.
Because it was My Left Foot.
He won for Lincoln, right?
Lincoln, and then There Will Be Blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
also, I think he was nominated for Last of the Mohicans.
Yeah, he's nominated for I think 2 more. I think he's got like 6 nominations or something like that.
Yeah, he's there's a reason he's the best. He's also the reason why he has to retire now because he's.
Oh, that and he has a very small pool. That's what's amazing about him. He doesn't do 3, 4, 5 movies a year. No.
He is the opposite of Michael.
Yeah, highly selective, and the fact that he teamed up with PTA Anderson again.
I just hope this movie is recognized somewhere. It's just too good not to be.
Yeah. Who won the Globe for this?
Gary.
Holden.
Yeah. But Daniel Day-Lewis was not nominated yet because I don't think it came out yet. So there's a chance, but everyone's saying it's going to be Oldman. And he's great in the movie. I mean,
and he's got a great career too. You're talking about a Lifetime Achievement Award as well. Yeah. He has one? Does he have one?
No, that's been a thing.
He doesn't have one, right? So
saying this will be his first time.
Yeah, the same thing. He's Sid and Nancy. He was what was Leon the Professional? Bram Stoker's Dracula. This dude is a chameleon. He's so awesome. Hell, even as in fucking Harry Potter. I mean,
Harry Potter, Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah. All right, here's the last one. Got it. Best Picture. We got Call Me by Your Name, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Get Out, Lady Bird, Phantom Thread, The Post, Shape of Water, and 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri.
I've seen 8. I just haven't got myself out to Call Me by Name. I feel bad about that, but.
Not too bad.
You've seen everything else. You've seen everything else.
I've seen 8 of the 9 here.
I feel like you've seen more than anybody that's not voting has seen.
6,
5. I've seen 5.
I can give it to I can give it to 6 of them without a problem. Maybe 5. I don't think Get Out should win. I don't think The Post definitely. I'm not even sure I should have been nominated, to be quite honest.
I don't think Get Out can win because Moonlight won last year.
Dunkirk. It's just not as good as Darkest Hour, and they kind of deal with the same subject matter, so it's hard to say Dunkirk. Darkest Hour won't win either. It's going to come down to The Shape of Water.
Shape of Water or 3 Billboards.
Even though Phantom
Thread's my favorite out of these, and my other favorite, Mother, wasn't nominated. So
you don't think this could end up Nolan's Achievement Award?
No, not yet.
He's still got time.
He's young enough.
Yeah.
And Dunkirk, and I mean, unless he somehow wins Best Director and shocks people with that one, and that's gonna be the weird thing too, because.
But it wouldn't even be shocking though, because he's highly regarded as one of the best directors in Hollywood for the last 15 years.
He is, but just this movie came out like in August or whatever it did, July maybe. It didn't get much fanfare. I mean, it made a lot of money, but it just hasn't won any awards really coming up to this either. Whereas Phantom, 3 Billboards has won the Golden Globe, it won the SAG Award, it won the BAFTAs, I think.
It's nominated for cinematography?
Yeah.
It might end up losing a Blade Runner.
It's probably going to lose Blade Runner. I hope so. I was sad, because I mean,
I love
Blade Runner looks good. It was just boring as shit.
I love the sound of Dunkirk.
On, shut up.
I'm sorry. Sometimes things look pretty.
Blade Runner was awesome.
Okay.
I'm more on Nick's side with this one. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it was a little too many spaces where there wasn't much going on.
Love it.
Yeah, Shape of Water's great. Lady Bird's great this year. I mean, so many movies. Like, I think Phantom Thread was the only one I didn't have an issue with on any real level. Like 3 Billboards, I agree with some of Nick's points about the ending. I didn't love. Shape of Water has some weird points to it. Phantom Thread, I think from beginning to end, I just loved.
It's an amazing movie.
It fucked up the release of it for whatever reason they did that. I don't know why. So not a lot of people saw it, and it wasn't a movie that a lot of people were going to go right out and see anyway, because it's Janet Day-Lewis playing a dressmaker.
That and I mean, there's a major kind of backlash against P.T. Anderson. There's a huge thought that he's very pretentious. You look at P.T. Anderson's filmography, and he had Boogie Nights was his big breakthrough.
Yeah. I like Boogie Nights.
And it kind of got him into the mainstream. And then he followed it up with Magnolia, which is a very, very divisive film. I know people that love P.T. Anderson that hate Magnolia. I'm a fan of Magnolia. I like it. And that was like Tom Cruise's, breakout, quote unquote, performance.
Yeah, breakout.
That's when he got his Oscar nomination.
It was the one time he wasn't. One of the few times he wasn't just a Tom Cruise character.
Yeah. So it was really good. But then, you have Punch Drunk Love, which I think is highly underrated. There Will Be Blood is perhaps
that's fantastic. Yeah,
one of the top 3 best movies I've ever seen. So, And then followed up with a Thomas Pynchon adaptation, and then this. So I mean, he's had a pretty divisive career.
You're looking for an achievement award there.
But I think that's where Del Toro also, he's. I think he's got it. I think it's Del Toro. I think Shape of Water. Del Toro win Best Director. Shape of Water won't win Best Picture. I think Three Billboards will win Best Picture.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I can see why he wasn't. This guy wasn't directed. I mean, director wasn't nominated, I suppose. But it's weird when you've made the best movie, you directed 3 of the best actors, and you wrote the best screenplay, but somehow you directed poorly.
Well, I mean, I have plenty of.
Maybe he didn't have to do much. Maybe that was it. Maybe it was like,
I guess
everything was set up for him.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, it's almost like, did you give Spolstra Coaster of the Year?
Yeah, it's like this Phil Jackson. You
got all sorts of. It's like that, and I'd argue that it wasn't.
I'm not even by.
I'm
just saying by their own nominations. That's what happened.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna nominate me, my movie, you're gonna nominate my script, you're gonna nominate my actors, but I didn't do a good enough job directing, is what you're saying?
I argue.
I mean, they did the same thing to Ben Affleck and Argo, so.
That's because they didn't want to give it to Ben Affleck. I swear.
But again, I think we'll see that where Del Toro wins for direction and 3 Billboards will win for best movie.
Possible. Shape of Water got a lot. Another movie that I don't think was considered Oscar bait. It was in this weird sci-fi type of realm, and a lot of people saw it because, like, when you see the trailer for it, you're like, this looks kind of interesting, and you see all this other stuff, and it's a movie that I think is more digestible to the public. So I can see that winning for that reason, because I think the Oscars are going through what the Grammys went through, so to speak, where for a long time Grammys would only it would be like, oh, who the fuck listened to Esperanza Spalding? You have to start giving Grammys to people who people listen to, as opposed to just people that only critics like. So then I think the Oscars are going to end up going in this route eventually. They're not going to you're not going to give The Rock Best Actor. Whatever.
The only one that's so such a artsy kind of movie in this though is Call Me by Your Name. Everything else should be. And Phantom Thread.
Even if it's indie though, it's more accessible, right? I mean, look at the indie films that are nominated here. So Call Me by Your Name is an indie film. Get Out is an indie film. Lady Bird is an indie film. Phantom Thread is an indie film. Shape of Water is an indie film. 3 Billboards, indie film.
Shape of Water is an indie.
3 Billboards is absolutely an indie film.
No, not 3 Billboards. That's Shape of Water.
That's an indie. Is an indie film. Oh yeah, Guillermo del Toro.
It's weird. It's kind of funny that they're under the big umbrella of a company, but they're like the. It's the independent wing of that company.
Right. So the big money, Darkest Hour had some money behind it. Dunkirk had some money behind it, and The Post had some money behind it.
Shape of Water only costed $20 million.
Yeah, it's a very
wow.
It's more visually colorful and stuff like that.
Back. We know what happens when you give him money with Pacific Rim and with
the movie is shot in a very it's not very broad in a way where it's shot really. So it's 3 or 4 different places, and it's. So it's not a huge set, and the actors aren't people who make big money either. So
I just feel bad for Troy McClure. He has sex with a fish, and he gets kind of thrown out of Hollywood. And then Shape of Water is all about having sex with fish, and it's honored.
That's a weird part of this movie. I gotta tell you.
Sex with a fish, man.
Kanye West, the gay fish from South Park. He got to be livid.
Anything else, Marty? Got anything else?
No, I think I'll be live tweeting the Oscars over at Movie and Stuff Show. Cool. So anyone wants to follow along.
Yeah, at Movie Stuff Show on Facebook.
Yeah, I think it's Jimmy Kimmel's hosting. It's gonna be interesting.
He's back again.
Nonsense going on. I suppose.
Last year he was there too.
He was there last year. Yeah, he had. I'm sure there'll be 1,000 jokes about La La Land and.
Yeah, they're going to start with that. They're probably even going to recreate that moment.
Yeah, that'll be the intro or something. And then there'll be just a bunch of random Me Too / Fuck Trump commentaries.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Thankfully, this is over. So no, this is the last award.
So head over to @Movie Stuff Show on Twitter. Follow Marty's live tweets. Nick still doing his thing. TJ Square Podcast. I have 2i at Mega Trinidad still.
Yes, still that.
So find him out. Yeah, we'll be back with a show next week. I don't know what we're gonna talk about yet. We'll figure some out.
Yeah, it's just some Netflix movies. There's some interesting stuff coming out.
I told you Florida Project I'm interested in seeing.
Yeah.
I'll send you a tweet you could screen cap about Red Sparrow when I see it on Sunday.
Okay. Right.
I'm paying $4. There's no way I'm not going to.
Red Sparrow, the Americans on screen.
Did you see what Jennifer Lawrence said? She turned off Phantom Thread after 3 minutes. She's like, I already lived this. Like,
fuck off.
Jennifer Lawrence, you probably should have waited to the end.
Well, I mean, she dropped out of 8th grade. Leave her alone.
I like J-Law, but come on, watch the movie. Watch the movie. The movie's not what you think. Just watch it to the end. That's all I gotta say.
It's because you dated that fucking wacko. Doesn't mean.
Oh no, she dated the guy from Mother. She didn't. Date, P.T. Anderson.
No, I mean she compared it to Aronofsky.
Right. So. Even though she denies it was Aronofsky. Maybe it's David O. Russell. Just talking about.
Either way.
Oh. All right. Good night.
Night, guys.
Bye.